We are moving into a 4 versus 4 on a familiar map. It is Selkie Isle. Should have all seen Selkie Isle before. The fun map's got a diamond of water basically and a diamond land in the middle around us, so navy, air, land, it's all kind of important. And anyway, it is a ladder match. We have the down to the singular digit ratings over there. So let me just tidy up that. We have team 1, blue in the top, team 2 in the red at the bottom. And let's see how these guys are going to get on. First off, team number 1 all the way over here on the left hand side. It is Frishy. Frishy is in light blue. Frishy has gone Cybran, and he's got his factory mixers and hydro planned out from there. Beside him over here in dark blue as opposed to light blue, it is Nightcat. It is our battery boy, and he's going at it again. He's UEF, getting his factory with double adjacency there and throwing down some power because his hydro is all the way over there. Third player for team number 1, Lavender. Another UEF, this time opening first air factory because his hydro is close enough he can get the adjacency bonus out of that once it is built. And finally, for team number 1, over here on the far right hand side in the cyan colour, another UEF. It is Zigster. And he's got an air factory as well, starting with that, and moving into some PGens because he's going to need them. His hydro is all the way down there. There we have folks. So team 1 has 3 UEF players and 1 Cybran to be completely different. That's Frishy over that side. Let's have an introduction to team number 2. First off, down here in the red corner, it is Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is Cybran. He's finishing off his hydro over that way. Beside him in the burgundy colour, UEF again. It's another UEF, and this time it is Insane. I'm pretty sure it's just a play on the word insane, but it's Insane. And like I said, burgundy UEF. Following on from him, third player for team number 2 in orange, it's a Cybran. Nice, another Cybran. And he has finished his hydro, got his factory up with some adjacency. He's going to be producing some cheap engineers out of there. And finally, for team number 2, over on the far left hand side, left hand side. I don't know why I get this mixed up, I never should. It is Maudlin. And Maudlin is yellow, Maudlin is UEF. So this battle is just Cybran and UEF. There's no Aeon, there's no Seraphim anywhere on the map. There is 5 UEF and 3 Cybran players. And how are we doing on that? That makes life interesting. So, Selkie Isle. This is not the expanded version. There's an extra player version that I believe has another person up here and another person here to spawn. But as far as reclaim goes, you're looking at about 37,000 across the entire map. And there's this is something you'll see commanders walking through the water to get footholds on the islands themselves, or you may see people consider doing a drop. So you might see factories with engineers come popping out, and transport to go for that. We have an early bomber on the right hand side from Zigster, spotted that, don't think I didn't. And we see here Frishy is going for a wander with his commander. He wants to grab these little frigate wrecks, reclaim those up, and then throw down some factories and try and get a bit of a beachhead here just to cause an irritation to Maudlin, which he could do if he manages to complete that. Anyway, we mentioned a bomber, and there is a bomber, and it's going this way. And will it pick up an engineer? Well, it might, if the engineer is spotted and targeted. The bomber is a wee ways behind. There goes the attack move, and Interceptor may have spotted the scout flying over and has moved to an intercept spot. Hopefully, he's going to pick up that bomber. But note, decides to turn away at the wrong time. Engineer stops walking just in the nick of time, and that bomber is going to get shot down by the interceptor. 0 kills. That's just some wasted mess on there. Going again with another bomber over this way. Second one coming out, maybe we'll be heading towards this engineer. However, this looks like Shovel Knight is on the ball with the scouts. He spotted that bomber. He has picked it with the interceptor for curves to the left, yes indeedy. And this bomber is going to get shot down for 0 gain again. So a couple of power bombers out there for Zigster. Looks like Shovel Knight is more than paying attention to what is going on. He's got scouts out and he's got just the one interceptor doing the round. It's got 2 kills to his name. But doing a fantastic job of that. And he's also grabbing these wrecks as reclaim. So same thing happening here. We saw Frishy grab these wrecks and we see Shovel Knight grabbing these wrecks. And they're going to have a good time getting some extras on there. However, we have another bomber over this way and looks like it is going to be trying to kill the engineer that's setting up this. But that's not an engineer, that's a commander. It's going to be a long time before you can finish that off. Now this bomber has been spotted again by Shovel Knight, and this just needs to stop that. He's thrown away 3 T1 bombers for 0 gain, like not even an engineer, not even any damage. I think one dropped off a singular bomb here to stop a T1 mace extractor being built, but that did not work as intended. So there we go, a drop right here from Nycad, and he's going to throw down a factory and start getting some reclaim, start getting some points. And there is reclaim in the middle. Yeah, just a cool 6,000 or so reclaim ready to be scooped up there, so it's definitely worth fighting over. Down this direction, this bomber has done a ton of damage, but nothing else. So maybe they have not been quite as successful. Alright, this direction we see that Freshie has completed one factory. Maybe he wants to think about moving his commander to shoo Maudlin away, because that factory is dying. Trying to build stuff out of it, but nothing doing from this commander's point of view. Is just being annoying. Drop some engineers off, they're going to roll it this way, throw down a T1 point defense, which will maybe not play shoot the ground. Don't know. But we'll see what happens. That commander may very well turn and shoot the engineers if he gets close enough, but Freshie's putting on a wee bit of pressure just to try and shoo him away, to give these engineers time to complete that which they will, and that will be, there we go, factories planned straight afterwards. So a bit of tete-a-tete from these guys. Bomber, that's going to stop you in your tracks. No factories for you. The T1 PD is up, but now of course the bombers are overhead and there's not much else for Rishi to do. T1 bombers ahoy, he's just going to finish off the mass extractor. I presume he will decide to walk into the water after that. Can't really deal with that kind of pressure, although some interceptors are coming, which will help clean the skies. And speaking of cleaning the skies, this has been a really small air battle on the right hand side as well. It's definitely gone the way of Shovel Knight before Jonte turned up with his few inties, and that's helped even the numbers a wee bit if Zixty gets back into the battle. And there we go, interceptors are all around from Freshie, and maybe he can get something done now that he's got defending inties of his own. If he can take out the bombers, he can start maybe thinking about rebuilding some factories, or he's just going to take the damage on his comm for a bit and think, I can't really stay here. Right, air battle on the right hand side has gone the way of team number 2. Shovel Knight has managed to keep things alive with an 8 kill interceptor. Look at that guy, 8 kills for him. He's doing very well for himself. That's a fighter ace right there, folks. 8 kills on an aircraft, that's an ace. Well, 5 kills is an ace really, so 8 kills is just massively impressive. But anyway, he managed to keep that alive. 2 comms in the middle. We see we have Smort and Insane have moved up with the commanders trying to claim the central island. Compare that to the other team, and then, oh no, there we go. Nycad is here with this combat, otherwise it has been just engineer drops from the other guys. They're going to try and play with that. In fact, that is Freshie on the island with his units. That's interesting. Jonty has not made a play for the island at all, whereas his opposite person, Smort, has. So, but quite a bit of a play for that central area for there. Right, air is definitely going the way of Shovel Knight. He is popping out those T1 inties all over the place, and if he popped out some bombs as well, he could cause some issues, because Zigster does not have a lot to repel any of that. Maybe throwing out an interceptor now and then, but otherwise nothing doing. Over here we can see Rishi is re-establishing himself on that beachhead. He's now got some anti-air behind him instead, some interceptors loitering around, and plenty of build power. Almost some engineers that were probably dropped off again to help produce and get some units going. Right then, in this section we see Insane has decided to wander within range of a T1 PD. I mean, yeah, if you like. Maybe not the best idea, but now he's being shooed away by the units coming in from Nycad. Can't really linger in that direction. Rishi getting a little bit eager to move one up into the spot, although having said that, the T1 AA is doing its job gradually. It is Cybran AA artillery shooting T1 AA, and of course they're horribly inaccurate, and so inaccurate, actually destroying some of the reclaims surrounding this thing. That is very, very terrible. Right then, but that is the middle being held for team number 1 at the moment. As long as they can get enough units in there and get some engineers in there for the reclaim, which is exactly what he's doing now. Yeah, but he definitely needs to try and hold that. There is Nightcade with his commander. He maybe wants to think about supporting this mid-section push. He's got his own engineers coming, maybe, question mark? I don't see any NGs from Nightcade. I see engineers from Freshie, and he's going to start getting that reclaim on. Down this direction, it is a T2 upgrade from Maudlin. He's got a T1 PD in front of him just to help stop these sneaky little mantis pushing on through. Freshie is back here with his comm. I think he's just popped down another T1 AA. No upgrades for him at the moment. But on the right hand side, no beachhead for Shovel Knight. He hasn't tried to take the spot. He's decided to not contest that and instead has gone quite well into the Navy. He's got 6 T1 Naval Factory going up and a T2 here is about to spit out a Salem. That's going to yell problems. Absolutely going to yell problems, and somebody needs to go T2 Navy for Team 1. In fact, we have it back here. This is right in the back. It is Jaunty, and he is about to knock out his own destroyer. 80% done, but that Salem is already on the way and going to be a problem for somebody. Over here, T2 is done for Maudlin, and he's getting the gun upgrade now as well. So T2 for the health and gun for the power. And he's ready to take on this position quite happily. Rishi, he will need a lot of units to stop this thing, especially if he supports with air and all sorts. And he's got T2 NG as well, so he's really going into the tech up here. Doesn't have much in the way of units. If this can happen, they can sneak on past. Maybe if they keep moving, they could get a lot more done, but they instead stop to take care of the T1 mass extractor. At the same time, Freshie is saying hello with some Navy. Maybe he's looking at doing a double push, but that's not going to go too good for him. He'll be fighting 2 versus 1 there and there. And he's fighting this on the island as well, but the engineer is actually doing pretty well. There's a lot of Mantis Medusas with their wayward shells. Sometimes they'll just hit everything anyway. Their aim is so terrible. They'll smack into things that don't have no right doing so. This is a very ill-advised push for Nightcade. He's run into a much larger force with a commander in present as well, and now these guys are free to just basically romp on up and take care of things. Having said that, this middle section has been all but cleaned out. There was about 6,000 mass there, now it's about 2,000, so majority has gone to team number 1. They've managed to hold that. This is Freshie being annoying in the water, moved his navy up, unfortunately ran into a large group plus a torpedo launcher, and that's really all she wrote for that front. He's also run out of options here, and this is a triad that is attempting to be slung up by Maudlin. Although it would have got bugger all done considering the lay of the land, and I think he realizes this and has decided to move it somewhere else. Get up the hill, and then slap it down. Up here kind of thing. He will actually be able to hit things. Okay, Freshie's comm is down here. Interesting. Looks like he's planning a T1 point defense just on there to be annoying. But that's not going to get too much further. There we go. That push coming in from Instant A has moved right on up here. Is going to run into some T2 naval issues. That sure is going to help very much in repulsing this, but so are the units that are coming out of the factories. So that should be alright for them to hold on there. And hello, Nightcade with the gun upgrade. His commander is walking on up to say hello to anything he can and try and clean them up. If he doesn't want to push quite too far, it could easily get trapped on here between 2 forces if he's not paying attention. And just have a look at what the Salem is doing. It's causing issues for all of these little frigates, and really they need to rush it. Salem's coming in, so rush it. Throw in the Valiant, and it's going to have a bad time. There's a stealth boat back here, plus a cruiser covering up, and the cruiser's having fun. Looks like he's killed off a few units here, a few engineers, a mass extractor here. Salem is now running, and it's always good to chase Salems because they can't shoot backwards. That turret cannot face backwards. If you've got them running away, they're going to have problems shooting back at you compared to other ships. That's... I thought it was a lot of bombers, but no, it's a few bombers and a whole bunch of interceptors. They're going to fly right over some frigates. That's not the greatest way to do it. I don't even know what they're going for. They're just sort of flying. Yeah, this is... yeah. So this is Maudlin He should be alright. He's captured a factory. Would you look at that? He's captured a cyber factory. So one of these things, he's actually snuck out from under the nose of Rishi and is now turning into his own factory for producing units. And what a way to reduce the build power of your opponent on the island by doing that. It works. Torpedo bombers having to go at barracudas. Barracudas do not like torpedo bombers at all because, well, they can't shoot back at them really. So torpedo bombers will have a well of a time on them. There is a cruiser loitering around, but maybe not the best advised push here. Rolling over the barracudas, getting knocked by frigates and a destroyer and a cruiser. But frigates won't last too long on that front. Bit of a brawl going on here. I do see T2L. There's Janus out there from Nycad. Can drop this pellet on this, and that will be a fun thing to drop napalm on. Nice tightly grouped T1 artillery. Although you don't want to sit still when there's that many of them. Just keep moving. They'll have a terrible time with us. Of course. But what's done is done. Nothing left in the mid area to hoover up. It is all absolutely gone. The only thing left to fight on the island is mass extractors. Got a couple around here, and I see a tack launcher. An odd position for a tack launcher, but I guess it will do. What kind of range does that have? What can it hit? It can hit everything on the island mostly. So it's not entirely useless. Of course, it has to worry about hitting things like those. Nice big hills. Ain't gonna happen much. A couple of those Janus are having fun. They're trying to pick some targets, maybe. I don't know what they're doing. They're dropping. They burnt a bit of ground there. That bit of ground really enjoy getting burnt. T1 bombers up this way. They're happy to go at all of these. Oh, kablooey. T1 units really don't like T1 bombers. Back this direction, we can see there's not much left on the ground for Rishi. So he made an attempt at landfall. He did some work and he caused, but he lost a lot of mass trying to do it. Instead now he's getting 2v1'd in the water and he really needs some help at this stage. His commander's in the water as well. Maybe if he could get a torpedo upgrade that might be able to help hold off the units. Does have T2 Navy back here, is desperately going to need that. But absolutely needs some kind of help before he gets overrun. Some Tier 1 bombers are coming around, going to drop their payloads just to try and shoot things off a little bit. But it's going to be very hard to try and control. There's a Cooper, there's a Valiant destroyer as well, so torpedo, destroyers, frigates, subs. Yeah, he's going to have problems. And torpedo bombers. Wowza. Rishi really is quite under the pump at the moment. Definitely could be having issues. That is a good target. It has a lot of DPS, this little Cooper. A lot of DPS with the torpedoes, but not a lot of health, so if you focus it down, it removes a lot of damage happening to your units. And here do come the reinforcements, slowly they're getting over. Rishi calling for air, those torpedo bombers being a real pain in the buttocks with his units. Well, there's only one left, and hello, Strat Bomber on the left. That is Maudlin. He's gotten T3 air, and the Strat is now here to focus in on some mixes. Oh dear, not looking good. Not looking good. Strat Bomber has 18 kills to his name, has killed 2 T2 mass extractors. If it hangs a bad turn here, the Inties might be able to catch up and start doing some damage, but it has a lot of health for him to get through. And of course it is fast and does have anti-air of its own that can pick them out of the sky slowly and fly out of range. Needs something more than T1 to catch it. Another bomb away. That's going to be a third T2 mass extractor down. Rank of Verancy going to get some extra health out on there. And now it looks like it is deciding to flee the scene. Not terribly good. Navy has come over to support though, and that has managed to shoo away these units. That's not a great turn from the Strat Bomber. Going to get caught by this giant pack of chasing Inties from Jonty, and maybe these ones from Krishi. Nope. Instead it flies over a cruiser. Cruiser should take it out. There we go. No more joy for that bomber there. It is going to crash land on the shore in a nice place where Rishi is definitely going to want to reclaim that so he can rebuild his mass extractors. On the right hand side, while that's been going on, this Navy, the Navy as well, it's got the annoying you can't see me counterintelligence boat. a sonar stealth field, and a radar stealth field. The only thing that sees it is looking at it or Omni. And it projects a area of defense as well, so that is a wee bit of a just a nosy from Zigzag, just wanting to have a look at what's going on. But he's gone for a T3 Navy. He's skipped the T2 stage. He's like, nah, fuck it, I'm just gonna go T3. And that is a battle cruiser coming out. Compare this to down here, that is still T2, although T3 is on the way for Shovel Knight, so he's not too far behind. And here we go. Tech launchers are firing in packs of 2, going for Nightcat, although Nightcat does have a buzzkill. He won't die from 2 tech missiles, and the buzzkill will help keep him alive a little bit further. Gonna split those off into very much less damaging Baboomski, and maybe he wants to think about not being there. So even if he didn't have the buzzkill, he would have been fine. The tech launchers do about 6,000, is it each? Yep, 6,000. He had 14,000 health, so he wouldn't have died from those, but would have been a definite scare, and much more of a scare than what actually happened to him. But Cyber missiles, you know how they work. They get shot, they split, they're annoying. Right, frigates are posturing, just moving around in circles, trying to keep distance away from these T2 units that are carving them up, waiting for the inevitable support of the battle cruiser, which will in turn rampage through this kind of thing as long as it can be kept at range. And most importantly, he needs some intel. Right now, with the stealth boat, you really can't see a thing. Just units on the excerpts, because that's how much range it covers. It covers basically all of these units, and they can just sit there quite happily, distance firing at radar signatures that cannot be seen back. Alright, units are just sort of like wandering around. We have rocket bots chasing a group from Nightcat who are doing their thing. His commander's still back here, but putting up some buzzkills. I don't know if that's the best idea. I doubt these tech launchers are going to go for the commander again, because kind of like a one and done thing. You give it a try, you fail, no worries. This is interesting. Some Cerberus turrets playing fuck the ground, which means you could pop some T1 RC on the edges here and lob some shells over to start killing off factories. That would be hilarious, and fortunately bad at the same time. Right, the battle cruiser is up, and it is starting to do its rampage. One volley per frigate. Yep, absolutely causing Shovel Knight to drop back, but Shovel Knight is working on a battleship, and that battleship will do for the battle cruiser what the battle cruiser is doing to the T2 units over that side. On the left we can see a combined naval force that is there from Freshy, Nightcat and Jonte, and now it's just Freshy and Jonte. As I say that, Nightcat hands over the Navy, and that will let Freshy use it more effectively as a single unit. Here we can see that these units are kind of trapped where they are. I don't know if they want to do much else. I certainly don't want to loiter on the edge of the cliff and get bopped just like that. They want to get some of the T1 RC, of which there's a limited amount, and throw shells over onto stuff like that. Right, Navy on the left. Well, they do have some shield boats, so there's a couple of shield boats in there, or 1, 2. Going to help protect the masses from damage coming in, and in the meantime can throw damage out for free. But there's a shield boat on the other side as well, so it's going to be a bit of a there, everything very similar to each other. In comes some torpedo bombers. If I were them, I would focus on this thing, kill the shield boat, because that regenerates very quickly. Although they haven't, they have gone for, I don't know what they've gone for. Not the shield boat. That's definitely what I'd go for if I could see it. Right hand side, and the battle cruiser is going to get overwhelmed in a moment. Lots of frigates coming in, a couple of destroyers, cruisers. It will be overwhelmed by that force if it sits around, and throw that into the mix that the battleship, which is 90% done, not going to have good times on there. Left hand side though, there is a bit of micro going on versus sitting still perhaps. That might be help Freshy out. This location, his commander is busy putting up a point defense while he has hoplites in his face. He now realizes and thinks, oh, maybe I should do something about that. There we go, Hopla's dead. And now he's getting pushed by some T1 and a commander. So Nykad does not want to stay there, or he's going to have a bad time. He cannot afford to stay there, he needs to get the hell out of Dodge. And there we go, his comm starts walking, but he's going to be running away from T1 and T2 units, and they outrange him. Those rocket bots are going to be a pain in the buttocks to deal with over this side. And what has gone on here kind of looks like a... Where are all the T2 units for team number 2? There used to be a whole line of destroyers. Here they were. It did. And that has left this nice wide open gap that Freshy can roll on into. Torpedo bombers come out, the inevitable counter to Navy, to more torpedo bombers. The shields are currently down, unfortunately, so that means they're going to have free shots at all the cruisers, which are trying to do their best. It's a lot of torpedo bombers, but by the time they get their work done, these factories are going to be decimated. And indeed some Navy over here doing a similar kind of thing. Got a cruiser and a destroyer. They can now start making work of this spot here where Smort is hiding. Do they know he's there? Well, they kind of do. You don't need to move that close, although the destroyer's fine to stop there and start killing things. It's out of range. Maybe we want to kill the stealth gene first, then the power, then the radar, then the sack launchers. I don't know. He'll figure it out eventually, but this has been just one. Rishi, with a combined force, is wiped the Navy out here. Now he can think about bombarding the shores. If he can get over this way, he might be able to kill maybe some T1 power if he gets them close enough. Sorry, T3 power if he gets them close enough early enough. But maybe not. Over this direction, well, that cruiser's having fun. Being able to pick interceptors out of the sky nice and easy. Destroyer is focusing the wrong thing. He needs to kill the power. There you go, kill the power, kill the attack launchers, then you can worry about the rest of it. But the midsection looks mostly lost. The T2 units roaming around from water doing their thing. There's T2 to counter them, but it's all on the wrong side of the map and going to run into a commander who can just overcharge it for days. Great. We see Nykad's moving his commander back over this way. Wants to maybe help out with this. We'll need some support. There is a T1 point of presence there. Give that a little bit of extra assistance. On the right hand side, and Battleship is as Battleship does. Focusing straight onto that battle cruiser, which is a great idea. You simply can't afford to let that get close. Sit at range, blap it out, kill some health off it. And we have that a battleship. Yes, it is. That is Zigster with his own battleship rolling off the rails and ready to join the fight. Torpedo bombers coming on out, and that's a lot of torpedo bombers coming on out. It's going to be a huge amount of damage. Have a look at that. Chunky. 10,000 damage already from probably about 15 torpedo bombers. Going to need to keep at it, and there's another battleship back here though. In come the interceptors from Shovel Knight. Want to keep that battleship alive. Don't want to give out free kills or nothing, but the torpedo bombers are insistent on taking those down. Cruisers turn up as well. They're going to help thin out the numbers, and the torpedo bombers decide to fall back. Not after doing about half damage to that battleship. Okay. Speaking of torpedo bombers smashing out Navy, here we go. And is he going for... I think he is. Those shots are landing on the T3 pigeons. Emergency shield going up. 1200 health. Some shots are still getting through. 800. 76. 255. Oh, that is the luckiest T3 PG I know. Down to 55 health. Another single shot while getting through this T2 shield absolutely saved it. Another shot or two came in, and that would have been a dead T3 PG. As it is, it survives. And now Rishi has had to fall back in the face of certain torpedo doom. But the Navy has wiped out the spot here, so Smort is off the island. Really, his commander's over here, rebuild some factories, he'll be fine. but the right hand side is not looking great. This is torpedo bombers having to go at the battleship over here, just even as Zigster had to go at that battleship with torpedo bombers. So is Shovel Knight having a go at this battleship with torpedo bombers. There was a, well, still is a shield boat up. Right now the battle cruiser is going to be invaluable for doing some DPS to ships like this one. Oh, doesn't quite though, but is that another battleship? That is indeed. So 2 battleships and a battle cruiser, but many frigates coming on up from Shovel Knight. They're there to be annoying, there to take damage, there to be distracting. They really needs to be ignored. Battle cruisers still slipping around the place trying to do the same thing. In come torpedo bombers, battle cruiser doing its best, battleships facing off against battleships. And at the moment that's looking like a much better victory for Zigster. The battleship is going to go down. This one is full health though. Is firing those. Attack missiles. Attack missiles from cruisers. Yeah, they're going to deal with your battleship with still, but so many frigates. And those frigates are just chewing with the health of the summit, but also with the assistance of a battleship. So it's going to be 1 battleship apiece, and look at all the firepower. Just frigates are just so annoying. They're the tickle to death thing, but it works. There's so many of them. You gotta pick a target, they're rapid fire. I mean, they don't have a lot of individual DPS, but grouped up like this, they can do a good amount of damage. And shots from a battleship are generally overkill, because every slow fire, boom. That was way overkill. It was in the red. I had a few hit points left. That is the end of that. Torpedo boats are sitting over here, they're trying to take care of things, but frigates focus on them, they die. Cruiser turns up. Field boat turns up just in the nick of time as well. That's going to help keep things alive. Cruiser knocks torpedo bombers out of the sky, so good little fight going on the right there, and I'd say probably advantage nobody. I think Shovel Knight's in a better position. He's got more T2s, he's got some cruisers, he's got a destroyer, he's got a battleship. There's only a couple of shield boat, battleship. Yeah, it is kind of close. Let's have a quick look over the left, and Freshy has rebuilt something of a navy. He's got a bunch of AA in the water, a bunch of boats ready to help out. Looks like there's a Clink Hammer battery being planned up over this way. That is going to be something annoying. I'm going to try and hold the channel with those Clink Hammers. T2 artillery is of course quite annoying. If we could focus those down though, he's going to want to try and clean them out of these skies. Back over on the right we have more torpedo bombers coming out, but their torpedoes are wasted on a shield boat, and then the torpedo bombers are introduced to what cruisers can do to them, which is typically not very nice stuff. Battleship down here is lobbing its shells back on in, and this shield boat is not for long for this world. As soon as that shield boat's shields collapse, this one is going to die. There we go, boom, ain't dead. More shield boats coming out, nothing in the form of torpedo boats though, so these barracudas are able to just wander straight on up. Oh, there's a Cooper. Take that back, we do have a Cooper. Now, the Cooper should be able to do something about this, although... There we go, that is going to be a mutual KO I think. Going to kill each other. Oh, the Cooper survives. More torpedo bombers coming on in, trying to focus down the battleship, because Shovel Knight knows he needs to get some kind of advantage before pushing on into those. He's got 2 battleships. The one that Zigster has. But Zigster does have the shield boats, which are a huge advantage. So it's looking pretty static on the right hand side in the navy at the moment, very even. The middle island, however, that is looking more and more held by team number 2. So Incinate and Smort between them, their 2 comms up on this way, have managed to shoo these guys out of it, and yep, Nightcad has decided enough is enough and he is moved on. I think the Butis are coming on over, and there's not much here to really slow them down, so hey, that is done for Nightcad, really wisely. This artillery back over this direction, and indeed Ravages as well. That's irritating. You get your ships close enough to shoot at the artillery, you're going to get Ravager fire to the face, so that's going to be a very annoying channel to try and push through. And Fritchie agrees and moves his units back just to be on the safe side. Cruisers will now be the name of the game to take out this spot here. You're going to want a whole bunch of those. Throw the attacks at long range into everything. Overwhelm the few TMDs, shields, etc. And maybe they can get something done. On the right hand side, a battleship pushing up from Shovel Knight? Why is that pushing up? Committing Sudoku. Gets a battlecruiser firing at it, gets the Immortal with an experimental, first experimental of the game. What has he built? Oh, he's built a satellite. Well, that's a bit rude. Sizable navy sitting in here from Incinate. He's got a couple of battlecruisers, got some another experimental Shovel Knight this time. What's he built? He's built something could be more interesting. He has built a monkey. It'll take a while for it to walk over, but stealth means it's not going to be seen unless it's scouted, and we will find out if that is the case soon. More torpedo bombers. Have a look at them all coming on over, and that is going to be problematic for the battlecruiser. You can't dodge torps. And I think it's about to die. Yep. There we go, between the torpedo bombers and the 3-4 battleships down here. That is a very, very dead battlecruiser. And there's only one battleship to try and defend against that. It needs to get the shield boat out to absorb these torpedoes sooner rather than later. And these ASFs need to be a little bit more on the ball to kill off the torpedo bombers before they can get much more done. And yes, Foodman, you absolutely did. Battleship did move up and commit a Sudoku. It's a bit of an in-joke. I just say Sudoku instead of Seppuku. I don't even know where I first heard that, but that's just how I roll. Okay, so single shield boat has run out of shields. Thing is going to start dying now, and T1 looks like it's going to move one in. Yes, the Neptunes are coming after it. Sizable force over here, but there's a lot of cruisers. Cruisers can deal out some damage, but they definitely can't take it. Now once these battle cruisers get in range and the shields go down, these guys are going to have a rough time of it. 2 versus 1 again, and even 3 versus 1 if you throw in the satellites. So Freshy getting hammered again. And Freshy actually decides to control K. He is throwing in the proverbial towel. He's getting 3v1 on the left here. Cannot hold. In the meantime, it is 3v1 on the right. And they're barely holding. That has been some incredible play from Shovel Knight. Very good play indeed to hold that. But on the left hand side, it has all been handed over to Zigster. Question is Zigster going to use it, or is he going to pass it on? Maybe he wants to use it. He isn't doing anything with the factories at the moment. They're all very idle. There's T3 air he could be building. There's units he could be building. Naval factories have started up on frigates. Now he really needs to get that all production all going. Torpedo bombers would be great. They can come down and take care of the battle cruisers or anything really. It just all needs to die. Right, this side, as forces build up, more battleships, more shield boats, more destroyers. Going to help with the forces down here. 4 battleships, a few cruisers, and look at all the build power that Shovel Knight has in there. And we mentioned, I thought I could hear them. The sound didn't quite register for me, but nuclear submarines. Very distinctive attack missile sounds. You ever hear that sound? There's a nuclear sub somewhere and you want to stop it. But the monkey is doing as monkey does, and no radar, no omni, no idea the monkey is inbound. If he's paying more attention to his navy, he's not going to see that. Has anybody seen that is the question, and I think the answer is no. There is nothing. It's just been all destroyed, and now they should see it. It should be like, oh shit, monkey. Very, very bad. No, he hasn't seen it yet. His attention has got to be elsewhere, maybe over here with his navy, but that monkey is just walking straight up towards him. Now he's seen it. Now he's seen it, and yeah, he's going to need to either run really fast, or he's going to need a transport to get the hell out of there, but he's getting caught on anything and everything, trying to get away, but bouncing off engineers. The pathfinding is terrible. The monkey is here, and the monkey is coming for you. Ravager does finish up, but one Ravager is going to take a very long time to kill a monkey, and the monkey kills the Ravager first, very easily, and is laying absolute waste to this base. You can see Zixter is on the run while the monkey sits still and just cleans house. This has been a huge amount of damage going through there. Switching back up to this side, and the Navy has prevailed. There is so much coming on through. Many other torpedo bombers. Few of the ASFs. Nightgat's sitting back here under some shielding. He's got some defenses with him. Popping up some T2 because he has lands coming through, some Wagners, amphibious things. And there we go. Zixter has handed everything over to Jonty, just trying to give him some kind of an edge, give him the build power and capacity to do things while he can. The monkey in the meantime is quite happily around here destroying all the eco. Why get a comp kill when you can destroy eco? And there we go, Zixter control K's himself out of the game. He didn't have much left. And still there's been no response for the monkey. There's no gunship. Oh, never mind, there's gunships. They can now come over and start working on the monkey, but having said that, there's a massive air presence for team number 2. The gunships won't last long if they do even try to get anything done. The satellite has finished killing off all the mass extractors over here and has decided to move on and get started in this direction. Not having fun. Okay, with some circling transports. Strange idea. Block shots every now and then, I guess. Monkey was having some broadsword issues, but has decided that the water is his friend. Now focusing down the T3 HQ. That's going to be bad. Gets a face full of battleship fire. Look at the health disappear of that thing. Battleships are absolutely not your friend. In or out of the water, make your choice. Just pick one. Right now it's both, and it's getting hammered by both. Broadsword is not going to last too much longer, although the air fight is currently out away from the broadsword. This is Shovel Knight trying to clean up the ASS before he dives straight in on the broadsword. Monkey can survive for a while, but not under that kind of pressure from battleships. Ooh, a lot of damage. Crunch. The volley? I want to see the volley come in. Missed. The monkey stops and the volley misses. What do you know? What do you know? I can see the battleship in the background trying to lob shells in. Boom. It's shooting at something. I don't think it's shooting at the monkey. I don't know what it's shooting at. Maybe it was a unit on the ground. Jonty has built his own experimental. What's he built? He's built his own satellite. I feel like that's not going to last long. Not when there's so many torpedo bombers. There's a monkey coming away. There's already satellite overhead, which is focusing down on the Novak's center itself. Yeah. Absolute drama there. Underwater. Jonty, still in the water with his commander, gets picked up by anything that has a torpedo, and he gets taken out of the game. It is now just down to Nycad, and what can he do? Well, when you consider the eco is 70 to over 1,000 at the end here, that's probably an appropriate response. Nycad bows out. He's not coming back from this one, and he is decided not to prolong this any further. He will go boom any second now. Any second now. Would you kindly explode? not imagining that right. I saw like a movement defeat. Oh, was that Jaunty? Did I totally misunderstand that? Ah, it was an experimental. Well, very briefly. Very briefly had an experimental in the form of these Novaks, but it's gone now. And there we go. Navy off the starboard bow. Throwing us some shields that simply will not last long. It's just a single destroyer for now, so the shield will keep going for a little bit, but he's got not much in the way of mass income. Now in come the attack missiles as well, so cruisers have joined the fights. Novak's flapping overhead. More shields, says Nycat. If I have shields, you can't hurt me. Well, I mean, he's not entirely wrong. The shields will run out though, and as soon as they drop, he's going to start taking damage, and then he's going to have some major issues. More Navy turns up. Satellites are overhead. Are they going for something else? Maybe they're going for something else. But nope, they're there. Ooh, focus on that comm. Zorchi, Zorchi. All the blast particles coming off that. He cannot be having a good time. Question is, who's going to get the kill? I'm trying to not focus on the commander just so we can try and get a guess. It's going to be a destroyer, it's going to be a satellite, it's going to be a battle cruiser. Is air going to come across? Try and make a run for the shields over this direction. If you get under those, he'll survive just that wee bit longer, but he doesn't. Right on the edge of the shielding, doesn't quite make it in. Satellites take him out. And that is the end of that game.